Waterfront with Coach. I'm Marina Hernandez.
And I'm Coach Ed Barreras.
And this is our show about life on the waterfront. We're going to interview lots of different people here on the waterfront just to give everybody an idea of what we do.
Different perspectives on different perspectives and aspects of what goes on the waterfront. You know, we're going to have our next guest that's going to come up he's one of a kind.
His name is
Ernie Chavez. He's been doing the cruise terminals for about 18, 19, 20 years. And he does a magnificent job. He's the only steady guy that works the terminals for the cruise.
Mm-hmm. He knows his stuff. He really does. So like he said, he's been around for a long time through lots of iterations of contracts and negotiations. So he really has that position, that job. He really knows it inside and out.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, to me, is like super informative, and why even that, if that doesn't hook you, I don't know if you know.
Right. He has got contacts with the upper management of the cruise terminals, and he's had meetings with them, and he's given his perspective on what should or should not be done. And sometimes they take his input, and sometimes they set it aside. But for the most part, they should listen to Ernie because he's really, really, really good.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, Dad, what have you been? So that we'll get to that. But there's a little fly around here. Okay. Where have you been going? What have you been doing this week?
You mean as far as working and stuff like that? I was at the cruise terminal one day. I was in the yard. I went to APL, went to ITS. They've been sending me around, different places.
You like it? You like?
I love it.
Yeah, it's nice to see the operations at different places, huh?
Oh yeah, and then you see some people there that you haven't seen in a long time. And that's what I really enjoy about this job. I go to different places, and there's people there that I haven't seen for quite a while. And it's, I was driving today. I said, you know what? For the next few days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my phone, and I'm going to get a friend's number and call him and talk to him and say, hey, you know what? I miss you and everything, and how you doing and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, just by driving and just thinking about that.
Yeah.
There's so many people down here.
So expect a call. If my dad has your phone number, expect a call.
Expect a call. I've got about 2,000 maybe numbers. So you can expect a call from me. I will call you.
So last night, I went back to the scene of the crime. I got fired at LBCT like 2 years ago. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
UTR driving, right?
UTR driving on the rails.
Yes, on the rails with the Ruben.
Ruben.
Yeah.
So
Ruben, you're number one.
Ruben knows it. Yeah, Ruben's cool. Ruben knows Fernando, my husband. Like, he's cool guy.
Good man.
Yes.
Good longshoreman.
So I had that job where I was UTR on the rails, and you got to back up an extra large bomb cart into a very narrow stall. Mm-hmm. Well, as I mentioned, the outside truckers are also doing it alongside. So they have like a little phone booth, They
stay in the little secured area,
which is a tin can, pretty much, a little box.
Right.
Well,
smaller than a phone booth.
It's like a phone booth that they're in. Well, when I was there like 2 years ago, I backed up into that tin box and somebody was in it. However, I didn't just come straight into it, which is why I really didn't know that I hit it, because as I was adjusting my cab, I didn't back up into it. The bomb cart, I think, or my cab brushed up against it. Mm-hmm. So I was fired, as I should have been. I mean, luckily no one was hurt.
Right.
But then I had been so hesitant to go back. I'm like, I'm not going back over there. Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to get a flex job, and that was the only flex job that I could have got last night. So I picked it up, and I saw Angie Rossi there. Love me some Angie Rossi. So I was like, girl, I'm nervous. Well, what they did in the meantime, they put a guardrail around it. So now it can't be hit. You'll hit that guard before you hit the booth, which tells me that it probably happened quite a bit. Actually, when I hit it, it was already dented and rusted, and which is why Ruben was arguing for me, is like, hey, how did you know that she did it? Because I even wasn't sure, because of the way that it brushed up. I still wasn't even sure if I did that.
Well, maybe since you haven't been there for so long, maybe you were the reason that they put up that barrier.
That could have been, and
which is good.
It's good that the company was proactive about it, because then I felt a little better. I still was nervous. I'd still, if there was something there, I'd park, because you have two lanes, lane 5 and lane 6. Lane 5 is closest to that, and I would always be in lane 6 because I was still nervous. But it's a cool job. I like that job. It's pretty mellow. What I love is that the roads are they're very not bumpy, because there's some very bumpy roads.
Right.
So I went back to the scene of the crime of my firing and faced my fears.
There you go.
Have you been fired before?
No.
You never been fired?
No.
I have been fired from a terminal and you have not.
One time when no.
Here we go.
No, 1982, we were working a banana job, and I got fired, but they fired the wrong guy.
What happened?
Well,
do you know what happened?
The numbers got mixed up or something. Yeah. So they were just, I go, what do you mean fired? I don't understand. I didn't get fired. And it turned out they fired some other guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
it's only time.
That's it?
Yeah.
You're a straight edge, Jen.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully that was my one and only firing. And I've moved on. I visited.
Usually when you get fired, a boss doesn't fire you, you fire yourself.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, you made a mistake. The boss didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
But he's got to go by. He's got a job to do. So, you're dismissed.
You are dismissed.
You are dismissed.
All right. So I just wanted to share that with you, because that's what happened to me this week.
Yeah. Go back and face your fears right there. Go on back.
Yeah. And I survived. Everybody survived. The phone booths were intact.
Good.
All right. Well, let's get to Ernie's interview.
Let's get to Ernie. Ernie like I said, he does a great job. And he's a professional cruise terminal foreman. Only one that we have that's steady.
All right. Let's get to it.
Let's get to Ernie.
Cap on filming. All right.
Good morning. We have the Carnival Radiance in the house. Normal routine, steel toe shoes, long pants. Make sure you got your seatbelt on. Drive backwards when you're carrying the load. If you're on the train, drive slow. If you think you're driving slow, drive slower than that. If we need to evacuate, if you need to evacuate, we're going to go out the main gate, meet in front of the grass. That area is blocked. Go out the back gate, meet in front of the Queen Mary on the grass. Any questions, comments, complaints, criticisms, chiselings? Anybody upset about anything? All right, just a reminder, we have 5 crew cages in the dome. There's 5 Miami. There's 61 cages with luggage, 19 empties. We have another ship over there doing a little honk down. She's not here. She's going to be going to San Pedro after she does a drive-by of the Queen Mary. So it's the Queen Mary 2 visiting the Queen Mary. You'll do a couple honks and then be on their merry way. So get a picture while you can. Outside of that, train drivers, when you're on the bridge, make sure that you look over your left shoulder before you make any turns onto the loading dock. And again, before you make a U-turn to head back out towards the X-ray. CL drivers anticipate that train might move. So be on the lookout. Anticipate that they may make a left turn anywhere near you. Last chance for questions, comments, complaints, criticisms, chiselings. Anybody upset? We're good? Okay, good. All right. So heavy lift, we have Jeff.
I'm Ernie Chavez, 37722. Came down, I think, 94, but don't quote me on the days and the years and all that. So 94, been a foreman for going a little over 22 years now. And I'm steady with the cruise terminal.
How long have you been steady with the cruise terminal, Ernie?
About 19 of them. Yeah.
Always.
I mean, except for when we got checked in, when all the foremen checked in. Of course, we were all out of the hall during that time.
Right.
And when COVID hit, I had to go steady at the Coke dock on the night side for 17 months and then back to cruise again. So for the majority of my time as a foreman, it's been with cruise.
Right.
LA and Long Beach.
Right.
How old were you when you started longshoring?
Oh, I don't know, 20-something. I guess
baby?
I remember that. Yeah, 25 or something of that nature. 24. I was baby.
And you mentioned earlier that your son, who just is a casual, is 5th generation.
5th generation. So my great-grandfather, Efren Osornio, was a founding member. And then his son, Robert Osornio, was a clerk, a peer clerk. And then both of my parents. And then myself, I'm a 4th generation. And both of my sisters are clerks. And both of my brother-in-laws were clerks. One of them just retired. And now my son. So he's the 5th generation. He got his casual card and he got out his first day driving a UTR for some great foremen over there at NYK or YTI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How cool. Dang. So I feel like that speaks a lot to like the industry, to just longshoring. When it's that deep in your family, it's like, this is a job that I want my kids to, that is that I want to pass down, you know, like that speaks a lot to the job, I feel.
Right. Ernie's dad, Big Ernie, they called him. He was a sergeant of arms and everything. Do you recall, do you know when he got in? Because I was in and he was in way before me.
His work number is 33807. Him and Nick Camello came in together 1966 or 67, I believe.
Right. Because my brother was
sponsored
30.
by my grandfather.
He was sponsored, right,
Yeah.
by your grandfather.
Right.
So he came in as a sponsorship. Because my brother was 3480. He got in 1963.
Right.
So Ernie got in shortly thereafter.
Right after.
Yeah.
And Mom was 5841, I think. Yeah. 58,
Now, did he
41.
do anything else besides Sergeant of Arms? Was he in the executive boards and
He
all
was
that?
on the executive board. He ran for committees. He did all of that
Right.
stuff. Yeah. And then he did part-time stuff for a only Levy Kaplan and Tenor. He was doing private investigator stuff for injuries and things on the waterfront and companies and
Interesting.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was doing both at the same time. And then we owned a liquor store in San Pedro from 78 to 84. So he was doing a whole lot of things.
Yes.
I love that, the side hustles.
Right.
Yeah.
Every longshoreman has that little side hustle
Exactly.
going. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, we all do.
So are you a Mary Star? You give me Mary Star vibes.
No, I'm from San Pedro High School.
Oh, okay.
Graduated in 87. Yeah. So I went to Taper Avenue, then Dodson, and then Pedro High.
You still live in Pedro?
I'm in Harbor City now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just a footstep out of Pedro. So
Oh,
I still claim
totally.
Pedro, you know.
So do you remember any stories from your grandfather or great grandfather? Like anything?
You know what's funny is Coach will attest to this, is those guys back then were rough and they were almost, mean. When you're a kid, you almost are afraid to talk to them because everything was so serious and so dangerous back then.
Right.
So they didn't play about anything. So when I first came in, most of the foremen were very mean. And they were gruff and grumpy, and they didn't want to talk to you. They didn't want to tell you anything. They just wanted to tell you what to do. And I would show up with my name on the back of my ticket, and not to name drop, but my name is Ernie Chavez II. So clearly, my dad's Ernie Chavez, right? So they would look at that, and they would just say, "Is Big Ernie your dad?" And yeah. Well, don't F up because I'm going to tell him. You know what? I'm going to make sure he whips your ass and this and that. I mean, it was rough. And it was like, oh, man. I used to joke. I would say, you can tell him anything you want. Don't tell my mom. My mom's the one that I was afraid of, And that was true. But no big stories or anything from my grandfather and my great-grandfather. They were just more like, don't mess up the name. We worked hard for this. And my great-grandfather, I was too young to have, I knew him, but I didn't know him in that manner. My grandfather was really hardcore. So everything was like, you better be thankful for everything. I was too young to understand what I needed to be thankful for. I understand it now, but I didn't understand it then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't really like talking to my grandfather too much because he was so hardcore
It was
about
always a
everything.
lecture.
I was like, okay, yeah, take it easy.
Those were men at that time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. They were tough down there.
Yeah.
They didn't take anything. If you did something wrong, by the time you got home, they knew it.
Your parents knew it.
Your parents knew it. Oh, yeah. They would know, hey, your son did this, your son did that. Don't do that.
Good way to keep people in check.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy because there was no cell phones or pagers or anything. And I don't know how the heck
Right,
they were calling with
yeah.
Morse code or what they were doing, but they were getting a hold of your parents somehow, and you were in trouble.
You're right
Yeah.
about that.
That's so true. I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, now it's easy, a text or a call. But back then, how?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was
It's true.
whispers through the windows.
Oh, yeah.
along the
Now
way.
you can FaceTime. Hey, look what your son is doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Live and in action.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
That seems very different than your style, because I feel like I've worked for you before and you got your speech down, but you still seem pleasant and like approachable as a foreman.
Right.
So that style's very different. Did you develop that style over time? Did
I
you come
did.
in hard and then like, oh wait, I got to ease up? Or because I feel like as a foreman, you got to have a style of
Right.
leadership, right?
Well,
I don't know.
he's got a great
Right.
style. Everybody knows that he runs a terminal. He knows how to run a cruise terminal. And it's really important that we have Ernie like that, because they're the face of, all these, what do you have, 3,000 people coming in, 5,000 coming off the ship?
My
5,000.
smallest ship is 4,000. So you got 4,000 coming off, 4,000 going back on. So it's 8,000 in a day. My biggest is 5,200. So a little over 10,000 in a turnaround. every
Right.
day.
So you're the face of the longshore industry. So that's why you keep your guys in line.
Right. I
That's-
think, growing through the industry from the start to where I'm at now, I've always watched people and thought to myself, I would like to, emulate that, or I would never want to act this way. and then just try to, mold myself in that direction of, to me, the environment is important. And consistency is the number one most important. I have to have a safe environment so people feel secure on the job. And then I want to be consistent so people feel like I'm going to be fair to them and treat everybody the same. And then after that, friendly, the job has to be done. I talk about a cruise ship and you got 5,200 passengers coming off. So pretend you're in Vegas and everybody at the Wynn Hotel all had to check out the same day. And then everybody had to turn around and refill it the same day. They'd have to do all the beds, all the cleaning, reload all the food, everything, all within a couple hour period. It seems impossible. It wouldn't happen, but that's what we do with cruise ships. They're a floating hotel, and we take off thousands of people and turn around and put thousands back on all within a couple hours. So it has to go, 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 go. There's no such thing as, the night side will get it. No problem. Well, they can do it tomorrow. There is no such thing. No. So you have to stay on top. You have people who book their vacations a year in advance, sometimes longer. They save for who knows how many years to go on a vacation. I can't ruin that for them. So we have to get it done. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. So explain how, what your role is when you show up to the job. What's your role? As soon as you show up, you're ready to go.
Right. So I'm the first one there, last one to leave. I have, I'm the ship boss. I'm the steady ship boss. I'm the only steady for cruise, directly for cruises, but especially for Metro. And I get there, I make sure all the gates are unlocked for our luggage trains, make sure all the cages are unlocked so that we can do luggage, come in and make sure all the proper doors are open, make sure all the signage is going to be where it needs to be for the clerk and that he knows what's going on and all that. There's fences, there's dividers, there's all kinds of things that we need to set up. In some cases, it's a sweeper's job in San Pedro. In Long Beach, they had lost arbitrations on that so that doesn't happen. And I don't want outside entities doing our work, but I feel it's our jurisdiction. So we make sure that we take care of that for our workers. Then go in and get on the payrolls and get ready to get started. And as people come in, I start thinking, I have forklift drivers and heavy lift drivers. I have dockmen, I have porters, I have swingmen, I have foremen, there's clerks, there's upwards of 110 people on one of the big ship days and probably about 80 people on the smaller ship days. So it's a lot of people. And it's a lot of different directions. So getting the job started right away so we can get passengers off and turn around and, like I said, get people back on, that's the imperative part. So it's move, 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 move.
And Ernie's got a good following. He has the same people up there almost all the time, and they know exactly their role. They know what to do. He just tells them, hey, I want you here at this time, and that's the way it is. Yeah. No, there's no arguing, no bickering. He runs a tight ship.
Yeah, I try not to go with, ticket number 1 and 2 is always this or that. I found in the past that sometimes it makes people want to chisel because if they know if I'm the first ticket, therefore I'm the lowest on hours, then I'm going to get the best break. And then people start cheating on their hours and stuff. And so I don't do that. I'm not beholden to any rules of that other than the safety code and the contract that says I have to be fair about everything and not pick one group over another or one person over another. So I rotate and I keep making sure that everything is fair. But I'm not beholden to any certain style. I can go in there and say, this is what we need to do. What I know of your experience, I know you're safe. I could trust you here. I could trust you there. You may not be so good at it. You might be new. I'm going to put you in this position so that you can learn the job a little bit better before, there's longshoremen all over the dock. And there's outside entities. There's people who are checking the pallets and stuff for vermin. There's chefs out there. There's storekeepers. There's people signing for this or that. People running water lines. It's dangerous. And if I just put whoever, wherever, somebody's going to get killed. I can't have that. So it's more important. Like I said in the beginning, it's always safety first to build the security that you're going to come here, you're going to work for me, and you're going to go home safe to your children. That's what I want to be able to
Let me just touch something what Ernie said about the numbers, the ticket numbers. Back in the day, they weren't numbered. You would just get a ducket, and there was no numbers on it. So the boss, when he got there, he didn't know it was ticket number 1, number 10, number 15. Now they got them numbered. But when I'm in a certain job, and I got to have a certain person there that I know it's going to be safe, that's what I'm going to put that person, regardless if he's ticket 1 or 20. That's what Ernie does. Yeah. That's the way, I believe that's the safest way. And to get the job, because like he said, he's got 4,000, 5,000 coming off, 4,000 or 5,000 going on. He's responsible for all that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a big task that you have there. Big task.
That's good. You still have some leeway with your job. You're not micromanaged or anything.
Right.
Like you can do what you feel is safe.
Right. And I know that we're supposed to have an adversarial relationship with the superintendents, but I don't. They have, to me, the shipping line has a job, and that is to provide a great cruise for these passengers. And the stevedore company has a job, and that is to get this job done. And we have a job, and that is to have the jurisdiction and make sure that we're getting it done safely and provide jobs for our longshoremen. And to me, there's a meeting place somewhere in the middle where everybody's happy. Mm-hmm. And I've been lucky that the superintendents who have come to me have not been messed up by the outside world, if you will. They've come in new, and they've been able to learn that this is different here, and that you have a role, and you're going to respect my role, and you're going to stay out of what I do, and I'll let you do what you do, and we work as a team, and we get this job done. So it's nice to not have that constant bickering, no micromanaging over my shoulder, and having to explain what it is. But in turn, I have to provide, and I have to make sure that my guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, because otherwise the complaints fly. And the complaints don't fly from the cruise line to the superintendent. They go to Miami to the corporate office. Then they turn around and it becomes amplified into this big, big thing. So we got to minimize that type of stuff.
Yeah, thanks for touching on that, because I do agree with you that it doesn't have to be confrontational, that relationship. Right. How have you, it sounds, so do you have a conversation when you have a new superintendent? We kind of talked about, you talked about your relationship with superintendents. When you have a new superintendent, because do they rotate often?
They don't.
So you have consistent
I've had Ian, who's fantastic, and he's been there for quite a number of years.
Okay, so you've developed a rapport with him, obviously.
Yeah. And then the director of the West Coast, a guy named Joe Lockhart, he's been there for 20-something years. As long as I've been there, he's been there.
And what's his role?
He is he's a superintendent, but he's oversees the whole West Coast.
Oh, okay.
So he has to go to Seattle, he has to go to San Diego, he goes to San Francisco. He's all over the place. They run him ragged, but he's a good guy. He's an old union man himself. He was in the airlines union back in Florida, I believe, when they took that away from them. So he understands the concept and how it works, and pretty good. So he also lends into the new superintendents that are under him, like, hey, this is what we do here. This is how we do it, and follow suit. So, yeah.
What's the expectation of your conversations with the superintendent? What are there maybe some things that you guys have had to negotiate just with things that go on the terminal?
Well, it's funny. It's really weird. Like I say, it's separate from everything else on the waterfront, because oftentimes it becomes us against the cruise line, which it doesn't need to be. But oftentimes the cruise line isn't very forthcoming with what their plans are. So if the ship is going to, let's say, go to a dry dock, which means that they're going to sail off, put it into a dry dock thing, lift the ship up, fix it, change out the restaurants, do whatever, a full remodel, if you will. And they'll tell us, there's only going to be 200 pallets. Well, we've been down there long enough to know that when you're going on a dry dock, it's about 600 pallets. So they want to give us minimum manning. So then we actually will sit together and say, look, last time they did this is what they did. And we keep records and say, no. And they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, the superintendents, because they want to make sure that the line is happy and that they're not overcharging them. But at the same time, I think I have a history of only asking for what I need. And that's known all the way back to Miami. All the bigwigs that make all the decision making and green light whatever my manning requests are know that I'm not going to ask for it unless I need it. And again, it goes back to that consistency. You have to be consistent in the way you act, the way you behave. You can't run with, I got 5 guys extra this time, I'm going to ask for 7 next time. It has to be fair. There's got to be that meeting place where we're all happy, and that's where we go with. So there hasn't been a lot of animosity. I mean, there's going to be times where they want somebody fired. And if I don't think that it's a right firing, I think that it's something that wasn't negligible or something that was just purely an accident, then I'm going to step up and say, no. It's not what we're going to do. We'll talk to them. We'll ask for this, that, or the other, but no. And then there's times when I'm like, no, they're fired. That's it. And that's all there is to it. And I agree, so it's really pretty easy to get along. There's not a whole lot of, our talks in the morning are more about, are there any changes? I didn't get the emails to tell me how many cages are coming off. I need that. I don't have, a clearance to get on the ship. Why don't I have that? Call the ship agent. I mean, there's a lot of red tape because we're dealing with U.S. Customs, we're dealing with Coast Guard, we're dealing with the ship itself, we're dealing with, you name it, there's fire department comes there half the time, or an ambulance, or whatever it is, and they're all audibles. You can't, they don't call you in, the day in advance or 2 weeks in advance to say, oh, we plan to have an ambulance coming through that's going to stop your whole operation.
Or there's going to be a
like,
fight,
oh
a fight on the dock.
And that happens quite often, right, Ernie?
Does that happen often?
Not the fights, the ambulances.
Oh.
Yeah. And what other things that come up, the people that are coming off the ship and sometimes they're escorted off?
Yeah, sometimes they're arrested. Yeah. So from what we understand, they run people for warrants and stuff while they're gone. So sometimes you find yourself wearing some silver bracelets when you come off the ship, and it delays our operation. They don't tell us why or what it is, or, we don't know if it's a fight on board or if somebody had some major warrant. We don't know. But they won't let any passengers off the ship until they go on board and get them. So, I got 5,200 passengers. I need them off my ship.
Right.
And then if I can't bring them off in stages, and let's say we get an hour behind because customs is holding everybody up, and then the ship says, go. Now, all of a sudden, you got 5,000 people coming down, and I only got maybe enough luggage for 1,000 of them so far.
Right.
So then they're all chopping at the bit, yelling and screaming about their flights and about everything. It's like I don't have an option of open it while I have heavy machinery in there. Customs hasn't cleared certain sections because they want to be able to have the ability, if they needed to come in with their canine and sniff for drugs, sniff for bombs, whatever it is that they want to do. They don't explain it to us, but you can only imagine that's what they're doing. And I can't open it. The passengers are so upset. And the ship told us our bags were ready. I can't fix the lies that they told you, if that's what they're doing. Of course, the ship says we never tell them that. They just don't listen to us, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But yeah, it's difficult. As Coach says, some days everything comes to a halt.
Last week, it was about an hour that we had to wait.
The U.S. Coast Guard was there. Well,
Yes.
for the arrest. They did 2 arrests that day. Never anything violent, thankfully. Nothing pours out into the street or anything crazy like that. It's always real quiet. The customs agents are fantastic. They're all friendly, and everybody's good. But there was a Coast Guard inspection, and those are usually not known in advance, or U.S. Health Department will show up unannounced, and then everything goes on to stop inside. They'll shut down everything, and we can't load. It's like, okay, but I got like 400 pallets I got to put on this ship. I got to turn around and sail this ship.
Right.
And it's, figure it out.
So in the meantime, are you trying to figure out how you're going to work around that?
I feel like I need to stay at least 3 hours ahead. If I fall behind that, then everything's going to crash. So I need to always be on the lookout, like, oh, that's not going right. I need to fix that, or I'll do this. Coach will tell you, he'll hear me over the radio. Hey, how are we looking over here? What's going on over there? What's the holdup? And that's where I'll call in on the superintendent. Make a call. Find out where this is at. Find out where that. Get this cleared. I need this to go. This is not going to be good. And I'm thinking about what's going to be happening 3 hours from now.
Well, so I'm wondering why I feel you're able to manage that and have a good hold on it because you've been there steady for so long. Where I worked in San Pedro at both terminals, and it's not like that at all.
Night and day.
Holy. Last time, there weren't enough customs agents, so the line was backing up too deep for people to disembark. And then at the same time, people are arriving. So it was a total shit show out there. It was crazy. And I'm like, how is this? So now I see that job doesn't get taken that much anymore. And I can see why. I'm like, I'm not going back over there. They don't have their stuff together. Do you know why your terminal has, or your cruise line has a steady and those don't?
Well, for one, let me touch on, it goes back to consistency. So as a steady, I'm able to bring consistency. Even though I have different hall bosses every day, I pretty much am in charge. And I'll let the other bosses know, this is what we're going to do today. And I try not to allow, and I don't want to micromanage, but I try not to allow the other bosses to have too much leeway outside of what the game plan is. Over there, you do have some steadies, but they're steadies for other terminals. So those terminal, if they're slow or whatever, you'll get Giuseppe or John Bellich or somebody over there, and they're great foremen. But they're not there often enough to be able to make exacting change that stays, right? So the first day that they're not there, you're going to have a bunch of hall bosses who don't want to be there, who have heard all the bad things about there, and they just want to get in and out of there as well. And what ends up taking place is you have a company running the show, and you have the ground staff running the show, and you have the security guards thinking they're running the show. And pretty soon, nobody's running the show. It's just wild. And the cruise lines themselves decide how many customs agents they're going to have. They decide how well they're going to communicate with their passengers about printing their tags and having their stuff ready before they get there. And if they don't, then it's a mess. So you add everything on top of each other, and it becomes a mess. They underorder their manning over there, grossly underorder their manning. They need at least 4 or more swingmen than what they have. They got people running all over the place trying to fix different things. It's just not right. So we had it, I say we, Metro had the contracts over there. Ports America came and underbid them from what I understand. I'm not privy to all the facts of it, but they came and cut manning. And
so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Ernie, do you think that, from what I understand, Ports America lost a contract? I guess SSA is going to take over.
Correct.
So maybe they'll have all their SSA bosses be steady bosses there, or do you think they're going to continue with haul guys?
I think that they will hire steadies. I don't know that they will bring SSA guys. I know that you have like Steve Kostich and Nick Padovin,
right,
who are amazing foremen for cruise lines. They were there before I got there.
Right.
And they taught me a lot. They are happy at their terminal running container ships, and I doubt that they would ever turn their back and come back this direction because it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
when you get there,
they're ready to retire. Anyway.
Yeah. You get there, it's a nightmare. It is to go there. And we could touch on it if you like about what the job was like when I first started, because that was a whole thing. But I believe that they will hire steadies. The leadership for it's not going to be SSA, it's Carrick's, I think. Or
okay.
They bought a company called Ceres who used to run cruise ships, and they've created their own division for cruise. And from what I understand, SSA that runs the rest of it, containers and all that, is going to kind of stay out of and let these cruise guys do the cruise thing.
Okay.
And from what I understand, what I'm expecting of the leadership, I know who the president's supposed to be. I know who the vice president's supposed to be. And I know who the director. And all of them are great guys. And I have high expectations that they're going to do the right thing on manning. They're going to do the right thing about hiring steadies. And they have one of the guys was a terminal manager at Long Beach when I was there. And I can't say enough good stuff about him. And I have the highest of expectations.
And he's going to be one of their leaders.
He is going to be one of their leaders there. So they take over in 2027 in San Pedro. So they'll take over, I believe, Princess and whatever it is that Ports America is running. And then they are involved with the new terminal at Outer Harbor. I don't know if you saw those videos. That's supposed to be at the earliest 2030.
Okay.
But, that I'm sure will take even longer than that.
It does look beautiful.
It does look beautiful, and we'll talk about that too, if you'd like.
Yes, we want to talk about it. Touch on that, Ernie. The new terminal?
The new terminal, the renderings look beautiful. I mean, it's awesome. But of course, they got people sitting right on the edge of the water, and that's not going to happen. There's going to have railings and all that kind of stuff. Their issues there are going to be parking and traffic. And, you can't see that in the rendering. And of course, you don't see any longshoremen in that rendering either. You don't see where the trucks are going to go or all that. They're going to have to deal with that. It's a small area. And I know that we want to bring in ultra-class ships that are 6,500 passengers or larger. They wanted to do that for Long Beach, weren't able to because of parking. City of Long Beach has not worked with us, from what I understand, to allow for more parking. And so we can't bring bigger ships in. We want to. And then they're building a Long Beach Bowl over there in Long Beach. So it's going to be even less area.
That's right off the Queen Mary, right in that.
It's across. So if you're driving out and the Queen Mary's on this side, it's on this left side. And that's supposed to be 11 to 12,000 seat amphitheater seating and no parking. They're going to have like a little VIP parking from what I understand. Everything else is going to be off site. And we already don't have enough parking. It's already a nightmare for us. We already have one of our ships parks off site. All the passengers have to go downtown Long Beach and park and be shuttled back.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
we tried to build up on the parking structure. They weren't able to. We offered to build a new parking structure. They said no. So, I mean, I'm losing one of my big ships and getting a smaller ship again because of the parking situation from the way it's been explained to me. But Outer Harbor, same thing. Traffic going in, traffic going out. You're going to have the new San Pedro waterfront marketplace, whatever they call it, the West End or whatever they have. Should have been called the San Pedro waterfront. Anyways, they have, it's going to be a lot of traffic. I don't know what they're going to do with parking. If they're going to have ultra-class ships, you're going to talking about 6,500, 13,000 passengers that are there coming and going. That means 26. And what are you going to do if you don't have it right? So hopefully they really pay attention to that.
I've been out there as a porter boss out of Harbor 49, I guess what they call it. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, the porters are like half a mile away.
Oh yes, I have done that job before.
Yeah,
It's out
yeah,
in
you're
the
like in a
open.
satellite tent somewhere. It is out in the open.
It's out in the open. If it's pouring rain, it's a nightmare.
And the like you said, the parking, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. So
Obviously, that rendering shows that they are taking it serious and going to do some stuff. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice though if they took like advice from like a foreman and just kind of got all those stakeholders involved in like how here's what we got. What do you guys think? And let you give your 2 cents.
I've offered my 2 cents to anybody from throughout the union and to everybody else that would listen. And I don't have a lot of takers on what my 2 cents are. And it's funny because I've been there so long and I'm aware of the past arbitrations. I know where we're at and how we got there and what the game plan was and where we deviated and what the game plan going forward is. I mean, I'm really intimately involved in all of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I spent my 50th birthday giving a speech to the city council in Long Beach about bringing another ship in. I mean, I take it serious. It's a big deal to me. The industry is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes I don't get called on by people that should be calling on me and say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. How did we get here? What should we do or whatever? It's just kind of like, and they just make their decisions. It's a little frustrating.
Yeah. That's a lack of smarts. That's silly to not go to somebody like you.
Right.
So you mentioned that can you talk about, you said how it was before when you showed up and then what was the progression? What have you learned?
Oh, I've learned a lot, but I've learned to provide a good, safe waterfront environment for people. When I got there, it was unfortunate. The porter jobs were manned by a lot of people who were struggling with addiction. So you had a lot of addicts, a lot of people who we called deadbeat dads back there. And I don't know the politically correct term for them now, people who don't want to pay their child support. So there were people there trying to get quick money. And not to cast aspersions on anybody's character about the foreman back there, but you had a lot of foremen who used to struggle. And they had a soft spot in their heart for these same ladies and gentlemen that would show there, you know. And it's not to say they were bad people. They were people suffering bad situations in life. And they'd come there and they'd get cash money and they'd disappear. And they'd either go get high or they'd go do whatever it was. So when I come in here, now I'm a guy who, you know, I'm not a drug user or anything else, and I don't really have a whole lot of patience for it. And I see a different path, so I start firing people. And I wasn't too loved in the very beginning, and it is what it is. Hey,
you have your tires slashed?
No, I didn't, but you know, I was surprised. You know, I had some people want to fight me and all that. That was
you don't want to fight Ernie. He's martial arts.
Are you, Ernie?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. Yeah, so I just never backed away from anybody. No. So yeah. So
you got a black belt?
I just
black belt with white
been
stripe?
doing martial arts for a long time in my life. Yeah.
You know, when you're modest about it, you could really kick someone's ass. That's how you know when someone's modest about it.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
So it was hardcore, you know, I mean, and having to get rid of people constantly and people would disappear. And all of a sudden you'd have 2 porters left, you know, and people would bring I don't know if you'd call them their significant others, or they'd bring people, they'd be sitting there on the job, like going through withdrawals while they were over here making money. I mean, it was wild.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that vision or that outlook of what porters are has hung around this waterfront for too long. So a lot of the leadership that have been around for a long time, when there's a porter issue, they automatically think, oh, those porters, they're still the same. They're not any different. They don't deserve to be, you know, supported properly, or they don't deserve to be fought for properly. And that's not how it is anymore. You've worked with me and everybody's great. It's a great environment. It's a family environment. You know, we try to support that as much as we can. And, but unfortunately, I think the outlook of porters is still the same for a lot of the old timers, and the people in office will look at it like, you know, what are you going to do? So I'm always trying to get them to change their mind on that and say, hey, these are people that are awesome and this and that. But like I said, I work for a lot of I don't work for, they work for me. A lot of the kids are the people who used to work for me. And, you know, it's great to see so many of them so much better and so much healthier than their parents were, you know, the struggles that they went through. Because sometimes it just perpetuates itself. And it doesn't seem to do that and it's great. So you embrace them. I always let everybody show me who they are. You come in, I don't care who your parents were. I don't care. And even I don't care who you were last week. Show me who you are today, and we're going to have a fantastic day. If you're the right person. You come here to start trouble, or you're not going to work, or you're not going to do whatever, then we're going to have an issue with it. And I try to do it real professional-like, and it is what it is.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Going back to what Ernie said, when I got in 1982, that's right, there were drug users and people that didn't pay child support, and it was bad. It was bad. I saw it firsthand. I've only ported one time since I've been down there 44 years. I've only ported one time.
Really?
It was in Wilmington, and I got like $28 tip, and I thought that was a lot of money.
Well, it probably was back then.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. But now,
was a quarter.
But now I go with Ernie over there or San Pedro, and the porters, they're all good guys. They're family guys. They're I don't think there's always going to be one bad apple. Everybody knows that. There's always one. But the majority are all good people. So whoever's judging them, they shouldn't judge by just one guy and everything. They should take as a whole group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I could test those guys are good guys.
Yeah. It's my opinion that even the bad apples are choosing their actions based on the environment that they're provided. So if the environment is shady and everybody's doing stuff, they fall within that and try to succeed making the most money in that environment. And then bad decisions are made. If you take all those options and people running amok and everybody doing that and you control the environment, that won't happen. Or if you tell them, hey, listen, I see what you're doing, stop it, or you're out of here, and you mean it. And then that doesn't happen. But over there's so much chaos and there's so much inconsistency that
you're talking about San Pedro.
San Pedro.
Yes.
It lends itself to acting up.
Yes, there are San Pedro porters, and then the
Right.
guys
and like I
that
said,
go to
most of them are great. There's one or two
Yes.
that like to push the boundary, and I consider it to be the company's fault. I consider it to be the foreman's fault. I consider it to be also the longshoremen who are making bad decisions, but it's a group thing. Everybody's at fault.
Well, I will say a lot of the shadiness that I see is like porter on porter crime. Like, I'm trying to come up and make more money, so I'm going to do, but always I've seen the porters be respectful to the customers, always,
Right.
regardless. And I feel like that's what the terminal, that's like, that's the face when you show up. Hey, how you doing?
Right.
Welcome. The porters are the ones greeting the customers, and they feel that's your first contact.
Absolutely.
So I've noticed that a lot of positivity that way, but on the side, someone's not throwing their luggage, but that's between porters, not between porters and the guests. That's my experience.
Yeah, no.
Right.
For the most
Right.
part, that's true. I mean, some guests are there, they're stressed out, they arrive stressed out, they're fighting with their spouse, they're yelling at their kids, and you're looking at it, and you're like, man, you're going on vacation, like it's okay.
Right.
And then they turn around and they snap on the porters, and we're grown men and women. We don't want to be yelled at and screamed at. And what I've told the people that work for me is that you're not here to be abused. I consider the job an honor to provide service to people. It's an honor. But that doesn't mean we're here to be abused. So if somebody's abusive to you, I tell you, you're welcome to say, folks, let me find somebody else to help you, and walk away. Separate yourself from it. That way they're not stuck being abused, and then they're also not going to lash out back. Because, like I said, we're grown men and women. It's hard for us to sit here and take a tongue lashing, or people get, violent. They want to fight with you and all this other stuff. So walk away. And I don't know that they're given those tools in San Pedro. I haven't been there in a little while. I just hear all the horror stories, right?
And that's exactly right. Tools. You're telling them ahead of time, this might be a situation. Here's how you can react.
Right.
I feel like some people just need that. Like, oh, okay. I know I don't have to confront. I have an option to step back.
Correct.
And so someone in authority telling you that that's you're right.
Yeah.
That's an a huge step.
Yeah, because otherwise you feel like, well, if I walk away from them, I might get fired for not providing the service, because that's what happens. Then the customer says, this person refused to help me. Now, if I didn't know better, and if I didn't know my workers, and if I hadn't given them, like if you come and tell me so-and-so did this, this, and this, and you're a passenger and you tell me, oh, this guy right here, he did this and this and this, I know my workers. I'll be able to tell if you're lying to me or not. I know what each person's capable of. And, I'll be like, no, they didn't do that. Whatever. He may have done this, this, or this, but he didn't do these other things that you're saying. when we talk about porters and people acting out and this and that, it ties into tipping. So we might as well just get into that the whole thing about tipping. Now, it is the service industry, and pretty much across the world, the service industry relies on tips. And porters are a time work thing where you're minimum of 4 hours on a regular start, minimum of 5 hours on a flex start, and then it goes up from there. Other ports have different supplements that say differently, but that's what it is for LA Long Beach. And people think that it's because, well, we get tips, so therefore we get paid less hours, where every other job is an 8-hour guarantee. And that's not it. There was a negotiation. I think it was through Greg Mitri and the guys that were in charge back in the days. And we were not going to be able to get some of that work. And that's what the negotiation. It has nothing to do with tips. But tipping is standard in the hospitality industry, the service industry. The cruise lines themselves in their documents tell you that they suggest $1 to $2 per bag. We're not allowed to solicit. We're not allowed to say, hey, you know what? You should tip me. You need to tip me. You better tip me. I hope your bags get on the ship, all that kind of stuff. Those are all fireable offenses. You're not allowed to do that.
And it is safety speech. Ernie covers that in detail once, twice, 3 times.
Over and over.
He covers that. If they tip you, they tip you. If they don't, they don't.
You're not allowed to ask.
Yep. You're not allowed to ask.
So, but I have nothing against people tipping. People want to tip. How do I tip you? How do I this and that? And it's cool. What I tell the labor is, don't ever put a number on it. Whatever makes you comfortable. If it's something or nothing, whatever it is that you're good with is good with me. Because the minute you say, oh, $1 a bag, and for some reason they switch and they're mad at you and they go telling, oh, you said I owed $1 a bag. No, you just asked me. So I would just tell you, just save your job. Don't ever put a number on it. Just say whatever you're comfortable with. Things have changed lately because the ship is cash free. And so a lot of people do stuff with apps, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, whatever. And with the ship itself, you're allowed to pay for the tipping in advance for all your cabin stewards and your dining crew and all that kind of stuff. It's something you do when you book your cruise. You could choose to do that. That doesn't include the porters. And there's no owing the porters of anything of that nature. But sometimes they'll come there and they'll say, I already paid the tip, to pay it in advance. And then, porter may say, okay, no problem. Sometimes they'll say, no, that was for the people on the ship. Sometimes that causes animosity. But mostly people want to tip. And they'll say, I don't have any cash because everything's cash free. Do you take Cash App or Zelle or Venmo? And the union has really looked down upon it because they feel that we are soliciting somehow. Some of the guys went so far as to put the QR codes on their vest just so they have it out. So it doesn't, hold on, let me get my phone out or anything else. And, to me, I don't have a problem with it. The union doesn't like it at all. And I just think that they may not be intimately involved enough to understand why and how it's going that direction. And, it is an industry where it is tipping and stuff like that. To me, as long as my guys are not pulling out a phone and saying, here, tip me, here's my QR code, you owe me something. If the passenger is asking, I don't have a problem with it necessarily, but that's a battle between the union and the porters and all that. And I try to stay out of it. But that's just the direction that the future is going. It's going cash free, and people still want to tip you. So we're going to have some kind of thing, where people are able to work that out between each other.
Right.
They go so far as that, the companies get mad and they call the locals, and then the locals don't really look into it properly, in my opinion, and turn around and say, wow, you porters, you better knock it off, and you better this and that. And we're going to put up signs that say no tipping, and it's not necessary. None of it's necessary. Why would we want to take food off of our members' tables? Why would we want to take money out of their pocket? When it's a legitimate job, it's a legitimate process with the hospitality industry. Nobody's asking for anything different. Nobody's saying, can I have the keys to your car? And can you, do this or that? That's just the nature of the industry. So why take from them? So I'm a little bit more on the side of the membership, and this is how it should be. But again, we go back to where people don't call me and ask me what my opinion is or why, and this is where we find ourselves.
The passengers, they want to tip the guys. They want to tip. They want to tip them. They go, how much per bag? Listen, the service is free. It's a free service. If you want to tip them, it's up to you. But it's a free service. Oh, we'll tip them. We'll tip them. So that's what they tell me all the time. We'll tip them.
And that's correct. And we don't feel like what Coach is saying, we don't feel that that's soliciting when we say, this is the process. I get in there and people are standing in line, folks. Here's the thing. You're standing in line for customs. It's that big, long line. That line's going to take you a half hour, 45 minutes to get through. If you get a porter, your bags go on the cart, you go with them. You're not separated. You skip the line. You go right through customs out the door. The service is free. If you like to tip them, you tip them. If you don't, you don't. There's no obligation whatsoever. That's all there is to it. Oh, no, shoot, we'll tip. Let's go.
Exactly.
And then, boom, they're so excited to just blaze right through the line.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem, but nobody's saying, oh, well, if you come with us and tip us, we'll get you through, So it's not like that. But I think that people on the outside that don't know any better think that that's what it is. And of course, they never show up to see. Yeah.
Right.
It's also a little different too, because when you're arriving to the ship, you have to give a porter your bag, right?
You don't have to.
No.
Oh, you don't?
You can carry your bags on.
Even, all sizes, you can carry your bags.
It says in the documents that it's any bags over 50 pounds and over the size of this. But as far as Carnival and all of the other ones, they don't hold to that.
Oh, okay.
If your bag was so big that it couldn't fit through the x-ray machine. So outside we have these giant x-ray machines. Inside they're smaller. The opening is smaller. So if your bag was such that it wouldn't fit through there, then they would tell you, but all the bags pretty much fit through there.
Oh, okay.
So you could choose. It's just that your room's not usually ready right away. So then you're stuck carrying your luggage. You got to go through and put it through the x-ray machine yourself. There's a long, in Long Beach at least, long old walk up these ramps and everything else. So it's like, you're on vacation. Why would you want to do that? You should check your luggage in. It's free. If you want to check your luggage, we're going to get it to your room for you.
Right.
So people usually choose to check their luggage in, but they don't have to.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, I thought it was mandatory. And maybe, is that the same in San Pedro? Okay. So, but they always have, the luggage has to go through the x-ray regardless.
Yeah, no matter what, it's going through an x-ray machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now, they change as things go, depending on the ship and all that. We have ultra high-end ships that let their passengers do what, obviously you can't bring any weapons or anything like that. But as far as wine or champagne or sodas or any of that, some of them just let them, hey, leave it in your luggage. They can bring boxes of wine. No problem. Carnival, you're allowed one bottle of wine or champagne per adult, and you got to carry it with you. It can't be in the luggage you give to the porter, or they're going to assume you carried some with you and you put some in your luggage. So the ones that are in your checked luggage, they'll confiscate from you. Now, medical devices, CPAPs, or anything that you need medically, you have to carry with you. Because if something happens and you go on the ship and somehow your luggage got lost, how are we going to save you if you don't have the medicine you need? So they tell you have to have it. And if you go to check in and they say, oh, I left it in my bag, they'll send you back out to go find your bag, or they won't let you sail. They're like, we're not going to take that liability that you don't have. Back in the days, we used to take luggage up to almost to the minute where they were getting ready to pull the lines and sail. But then it would take them a couple of hours to get the luggage to the rooms. And if a bag was missing or something's happening or whatever, or if a passenger gets denied, they didn't have the proper documentation, the ship would end up sailing with the luggage on board, So it was a nightmare. So now they have us close earlier, so they have time to process all the luggage, get it to the rooms, and then sail. For those people that come really, really late, there's still a chance that your bags may go on vacation without you if you're not prepared with the right documents. And that happens almost every day, that there's somebody at the door that arrived late. People, oh, my flight was delayed. Well, you should have flew in the day before. You can't take that chance. And, and unfortunately, they get denied. So.
And their luggage is on the ship?
Sometimes it is.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Oh. So we try to, as porters, that's why it's so important to me that the porters maintain their jurisdiction. We always have, I don't want to call it a tax, but I will, a tax from ground staff who come out and try to walk into our area and start talking to the passengers, start telling them a bunch of stuff that they don't really know. They're usually younger kids or older ladies who may have been retired and this is a part-time little job for them. And they're not really educated on what it is that is supposed to be said to the passengers and what they can take, what they can't take and why and all that. And next thing you know, something's gone wrong. So I just keep everybody, hey, you guys can't be in our work area. You have to be back there. This is for the porters to talk to the passengers. And we'll tell them what you can and can't bring. And, oh, you don't have your documents and we don't want to take your luggage. We don't want your luggage to go on vacation without you. We're going to make sure you wait, go work that out up front and all that kind of stuff. So it's imperative. They tried to do luggage trucks where they bring all the stuff there and then put it right into cages. And that doesn't work in Long Beach. We don't do any of that.
No.
It's not set up operationally to do so. And then it's just not a good idea because stuff goes on board that shouldn't, where people, we're not given a chance to be spoken to and tell them, hey, this, you have to carry this, or, make sure you have this with you. So, yeah.
Yet another reason why you should be consulted, because you've been through a lot of iterations of things and like,
Right.
let's try this out. Like, oh, that didn't work, or yeah, this works, and let's keep going with that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you definitely should be consulted.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So have you been on a cruise?
I have been on a couple cruises,
Uh-huh.
but I can't really go on the ones here because I got to work them. I got to make my money now. I've gone on one in Florida and then one out of here, and they were cool.
Yeah.
They were fun. It's like it's like going to Vegas and you just get out of hand and you eat too much and you gamble too much and you party too much, and then you come home and you're exhausted and you need a vacation from your vacation. But yeah, I don't think that I could stay on one for more than 3 days. I think that would be enough. Some of these ones are, the last one we did, the upper end ship that we had, I want to say it was over $100,000 a person, and it was 100 and some odd day cruise. And it's one of the small ones. They could go to all the little ports that the big ones can. Really nice, very wonderful people. It was very classy. But yeah, I would go stir crazy. I think I'd be jumping off by the first week.
Imagine, but it's mostly retirees, right?
Right,
Do you
exactly.
think?
Yeah, they're just I mean, who else could take off work for 100 days?
Right.
Unless you got some good money and and you're retired.
But
But the longer
100
the cruise, the older the passenger traditionally. So we have the Radiance every now and then goes on a Hawaii. It's called a journey cruise. It goes on a 14-day Hawaii cruise. So you have a lot older group. They're not old, but they're older than our 3-day cruise. So
You got the young partiers on those 3 days.
yeah, you can't party 14 days straight. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I love when everyone comes back with their like hats, like their sombreros and
yeah.
everything. Like, oh, you enjoyed yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, came back all fired up.
Have you
That's
been on a
pretty good.
cruise, Dad?
Yeah, once.
You have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Ensenada.
Oh.
Just a real 2-3 days. Real quick out of San Pedro.
Did you gambled a lot, didn't you?
Mom did.
Yeah.
Well, so did I. But we had fun. Mom won.
I have not been on one. I feel like that should be mandatory for someone who's porter. You got to know what they're experiencing when they come off.
You should.
Yeah,
You should
Carnival's got to buy one, get one for the longshore.
It's harder now, but back in the days, I used to rotate and take longshoremen with me on a tour of the ship, the porters, so they could see what the decks look like, so they could tell passengers, this is what you're going. You want to go to deck 7, you go or deck 10, Lido deck. This is where the food is. This is where the bars are. This is what's going on. This is what's open, because certain things don't open. The casino doesn't open until you're out in the international waters. The gift shops don't open until you're out in international waters. So there's not a whole lot you can do but eat or drink. And then that closes down when it's time for the muster drill. So yeah, under the Jones Act, every cruise ship has to touch a foreign port as well. So if you're going to Hawaii, you still have to stop in Mexico. If you're going to Canada, if you're going to Alaska, you got to stop in Canada. You have to. And that's how, I'm not sure what the rules are or why, but that's why you have to have your passport. That's why all of the documentation has to be right. And it's how they get foreign workers to be able to be here and do the different things that they do.
Oh, that's interesting. And that's exactly what I'm saying. If the porters are the first point of contact, you're an ambassador for the cruise line. Like you're about to have a great time. Go do this, go do that. Right. Instead, I'm like, have fun. I don't know what you're going to experience. I got to go on
I've never been there. I don't know.
Never been there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually just took 2 of my swingmen up there a couple of days ago, just to read through the ship, see what it is, see what, that way when they're talking to pastors, they know what to tell them. So yeah,
definitely.
It's a little harder to do now, but I still do it every now and then.
So we're going to kind of end our show with 3 kind of questions. We had our first episode and we talked about the questions, and then we just got to the one question.
Right.
So what's been your most memorable day on the job? And it doesn't have to be cruise. It could just be from...
I think it was cruise. We were sending a ship to dry dock like we spoke of before. It was in San Pedro on the 91 side. The Iowa wasn't there yet. And we had 3 mobile cranes going, and those are giant things putting stuff up on top. We had 10 reach lifts, and we were putting stuff up on the higher decks up on the ship themselves, and we were running 3 hatches down below. So you were having to really watch because things were swinging overhead, things were swinging next to you. I mean, it was buck wild. And everybody because they hire a company called dry dock logistics, and they come out of Miami and they oversee what needs to go where. And you're talking about anything and everything that could go on a ship to rebuild it was going on. And I probably had 150 people working for me, and everybody went home alive, uninjured, no damage, no nothing. It was a hell of a day, but it was a rewarding day.
Right.
So that's no passengers at all. This
No
is
passengers.
just, like you said, redoing the ship.
I mean, you have crew members on there, but no and what are they called? Like guys that come on, contractors. They'll come on as well, but no passengers.
Yeah. So, and you were like, that was like, you're in charge of everything, making sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, and I have to make sure, it all
That's
goes right.
You better have
there
good
was a
drivers.
lot.
You better have good drivers there.
Yeah,
and, stuff,
and that's
right?
the thing. Again,
Oh,
I have some of the very best workers on the waterfront. I mean, they're amazing, and a lot of them have been with me for 20 years. Since I've been bossing, they've been there with me, and continue to come, thankfully. And they know when the days are going to be difficult, and they speak to each other. Well, I'm going to be on vacation, so you need to be there, and this and that, and they cover the job. And in turn, of course, I try to, show my appreciation to them as much as I can. But again, it goes back to consistency, environment, feeling safe, secure, and they deserve every bit of it. I mean, they make the show. It's so awesome to watch them just. They're so
It's a
smooth.
machine.
It is a machine. They are
Yeah.
really good.
You have Manny loading the trucks.
Yeah, Nikki and Paula and Steve inside, and Rick and all the guys and ladies that have been with me, and some of the ladies that have gone clerking. That's the sad part, is you get such an amazing team, and then they go bossing or they go clerking and they go crane operating. And you're like, no, don't leave.
Yeah.
You're happy for them, but you're like, no.
But I'm always trying to embrace the next group of people that are coming through. So
Yeah. I told the guys that are loading, I go, hey guys, I got the space shuttle. Come on, bring it on.
yeah,
Bring it on. We'll get it up. We'll get aboard ship.
no problem.
That's what I love about longshoremen. They're true problem solvers.
Oh, yeah.
Like almost thrive on it. Like, okay, this is an issue. Like this is what I have the tools I have at my disposal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got this. I got this.
We're gonna have a guy on the program, Johnny DeLeva. He's amazing.
Yeah,
He's like Ernie, right? They're amazing. They can make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Who's somebody who positively influenced you down here at the docks?
Well, I got to talk about my mom. My mom was amazing, and in every way, but many people along the way. Individually, when I talk with Coach, I love his personality. I love how people love him and respect him. So you look at that. Billy Miller Sr. was a kind gentleman. It was always good. Steve Kostic taught me the ropes for crews and how to be not aggressive, but stand your ground and to lead and yet be fair. And Dave Mattis and all the different guys along the way. And I learned equally from the guys who I didn't want to be like as the ones that I did.
You can name them.
No, it's okay. but ultimately, Mom led the way. Dad I looked up to, but Mom led the way.
And she was a longshoreman?
She was a longshoreman, yeah.
What did she was? You said a clerk?
No, she was a regular longshoreman. She ended her days working at APL on the night side, driving UTR on their yard work.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was the first female UTR instructor, and she was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right. Lastly, do you have any question or a question or anything for Dad, for me, for us as a team?
Well, for Dad, I just want to ask you, please don't retire. It's not a question. It's a tell you, keep working, because I love having you with me. It's always great that the workers, as you know, love you. And, it's a celebration every time you walk in. It's because, to me, people know that they're going to get a fair shake. They're going to be treated with a smile. It's going to be a good day. It's not that you're giving them anything other than your love and you're honoring that they're there. So many people, going back real quick, so many people, old school or even former nowadays, it's almost like they're stingy with the information. To me, you come to work for me, you're a human being, you have a family, you're trying to provide for your life, and I want you to have as much information as possible. And you're of the same cut. You come here and you recognize that these are wonderful people who have a life, and you just want to celebrate it with them, make sure they're there safely, go home safely and happy. And I appreciate that. So
Ernie,
I'm hoping
thank
that
you. I
stick
appreciate
around.
those words. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
those words.
of course.
I'm going to stick around for a while.
Good.
I'm going to stick around for a while.
Good. I'm
Thank you.
glad.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
I really
of
do.
course.
Thank you.
All right. right. Well, thank you, Ernie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Was awesome. That was good. A lot of information. I really hope that people call on you for
Yeah, me too.
for guidance. Yeah.
too,
Or for
yeah.
just for not guidance. So what's the word? Just to
Just even if it's just advice or, just listen.
Yeah.
just listen. Yeah. You
You don't have to go
experience.
with everything I say, but just listen.
Just listen.
Maybe you have an idea where you're going.
You
if
might have
listen.
a little. You might know a little something
Might
after
know
all these
something.
years. Just
Yeah,
a little
just a
something.
little bit. Yeah.
Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to On the Waterfront with Coach.
And for more content, you can follow us on our Instagram page, On the Waterfront Pod, and you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast.
We'd appreciate if you subscribe and follow.
And thank you lastly to our partners at the Arts and Cultural Alliance for letting us use their beautiful building.
Thank you, Uncle Harry.